Hello, and welcome to the first video where I will have a voice. Today we're gonna talk about writing an essay because that's a pretty important thing that most people should know. So I think we can all figure out that we need to have an intro and a conclusion, because without those things, this whole thing wouldn't make any sense. But what most people get confused about is what goes in the middle, this whole big space right here. What in the world do we do with this? I am here to tell you that it's not too difficult once you divide it into sections. So in this hypothetical situation, you've been asked to write why you like an animal that you like, and we're just gonna say that you chose ostriches because, I don't know, I think they're pretty cool. So you'd start with something like this setup, with the first introduction sentence, then the first reason, the second reason, the third reason, and the conclusion. So I just went ahead and marked them for simplicity. And now we're gonna move on to what really would go in these sections, because you have to know that for writing an essay. First, you're gonna wanna just come up with the basic idea for these paragraphs, because that's what we're gonna focus on. The 3 middle paragraphs. So what I wrote for the first one was, I think they look cool. The second one, they can run really fast and they have adapted to have really strong legs. And the third reason is that they never fail to look funny in photos. So right there, those are 3 reasons why I like ostriches. You'll notice that would all be in the first sentence in each of the paragraphs. It's just to basically set up what the rest of the paragraph is going to be about, and this is just the starting point. So now you're just going to think about the details of that specific topic. So, for example, the first sentence is, the first reason I like ostriches is they look really cool. So now I'm going to think about why I think they look cool. Maybe it's about their feathers or the fact that they have a really long neck. Maybe it's, again, about their really strong legs, but I would really want to avoid that since that's my second paragraph. And it would just kind of be confusing and repetitive to put that in both my first and second paragraph. So I decided to go with how cool I think their feathers look. So here we have the first paragraph. The first reason I like ostriches is they look really cool. I find that their feathers have varying colors and patterns, making it always interesting to the eye. So usually if I were to be writing like a real essay, I would make sure that every paragraph had at least 7 or 8 sentences, because usually that's about the average amount that you would want. And if you're in school, that is what they will require most of the time. So another thing that you should note is that these 3 dots right here, right, you can see them right there, those are called ellipses. And if you were writing a real essay for school, like I said before, you wouldn't put those there. That was just me separating the start of the paragraph from the idea of what would be in the paragraph. So now we're on to the second reason. And you'll realize that basically the same things that were for the first reason apply for all 3 reasons. But I'm going to go ahead and read the paragraph and then talk about it. Another reason I like ostriches is they can run really fast and have adapted to have extremely strong legs. Not only do these animals look gorgeous, but their legs can carry them up to 43 miles per hour. I think this is a great survival technique. So you'll notice that in this paragraph, I kind of referenced the first paragraph by calling them gorgeous, which is something about how they look. So it really kind of strings it together. It also should be noted that I put a fact in here. It's right here. They can run 43 miles per hour. Why I did this is because if this were a real essay, one that I had to turn in or a professional would be reading, I would want them to know that I know things about the topic that I'm talking about, which in this case is ostriches. So it's a really simple fact. It's nothing too insanely complicated, but it really just adds a little bit more depth to what you're talking about. Especially if this is just meant to be an opinionated essay. Like, you don't have to put facts in, but you took the time to learn those facts and put them in. If you're giving this to a teacher, I think that usually they appreciate it a little bit because you didn't just say, oh, I like the way they look, and I like the way their legs look, and I like the way they look in photos. You really thought about how this can affect them. It's a survival technique. Here we have the final and third reason for why I like ostriches, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. The final reason I like ostriches is they never fail to look funny in photos. As a source of entertainment, I believe they have the sort of charismatic energy that cat videos have. So right here we have a reference to something that at least was really popular, but in the simplest terms, everyone knows about it. The cat videos. People everywhere know that cats can be really funny. Why is that? Charismatic. They're really fun to watch, and that's why cat videos got really, really popular. So by saying that ostriches, at least in my mind, have the same sort of ability to be entertaining as cat videos do, that's something that everyone can relate to. It's a good analogy because most people would be able to say, oh, cat videos. I know what that is. I like those. So that means that the author of this writing must like ostriches. So I know what you're thinking. Well, obviously, whoever is reading it knows that the author likes ostriches because the author wrote it about 4 times. Well, okay, yes. It's quite obvious that whoever wrote this really likes ostriches. But it's just a sneaky way to say that without literally saying it. By just putting that in there, it makes the person who reads it go, oh, well, that's a reason why they like ostriches. And that reason is just reconfirming the fact that they like ostriches. So that's gonna be all for today, at least in this video. I'm gonna do a video about writing an intro and conclusion, probably fairly soon, then maybe editing or expanding sentences, things like that. Those will be coming up, but for right now, we're just gonna do this. I hope you enjoyed it and learned some things about either ostriches or writing essays, hopefully both. And yeah,